Welcome, Rodney Barnes. Barnes. Welcome, Rodney Barnes.
Thank you very much for inviting me on this casting couch.
So, should we get on to the action?
Let's do it.
I went wrong with my question. He went worse with the answer. How does anyone become Rodney Barnes?
There are so many people who are probably much better than Rodney Barnes. They've not been seen anymore. It's not there at the right place at the right time, I would say.
Wow. Corporate events versus concerts versus shadi.
Concerts.
Television versus...
Zero. Concerts. Live.
You were born for this. How do you develop that kind of attitude?
I think it was the training that we got. Again from Viscraft. You can do it, others don't worry, We'll find a solution. Don't panic. And that was the teaching that unwavering and Sabas gave us all this while.
Yeah. Take me through that feeling of 96.
We just got to know that Michael Jackson will be coming into India, and I was a production manager at Viscraft that time. So it was the best experience ever. And like you see, I got three stars on my tattoo. That's unwavering and Sabas. Yeah,
God.
It's true.
When did your journey with Viscraft come to an end? When you are working with A.R. Rahman, tell me, what is that experience like?
So I used to tour with Mr. Rahman even in 2005 and 2006.
Yeah.
So many people coming at the concert, people screaming left, right and center all over the place. But the minute Mr. Rahman's on stage, it's pin drop, it's peace. I mean, you just feel like, there's something divine happening.
Somehow I have experienced, Rod, that production and technical managers, we have not been able to nurture that many.
True.
Where do you think we are going wrong?
Because there's not many people who want to be a production manager. They want to be an artist manager, but they don't understand how powerful a production manager is.
And now I'm going to ask you something which has always been a question, but I've never had the courage to ask any of your gang, the original gang.
It's cut. Huh.
I find myself in such a lucky space. I truly feel fortunate that I am able to conduct this podcast and document the entire journey of the Indian event industry. Some people have played a very, very vital role. And in their own journey, they have not realized, but they're truly not just set higher standards for the industry, they are the ones who have shaped what the industry should be like. It's a constant struggle, it's a constant learning, but at least these are the ones who decided to step into a space, into an industry which didn't even exist back then. My guest in this episode is somebody who started his journey with nothing to do with events, and today he's actually there in the most important capacity for one of the biggest artists that we have, one of the biggest talents that we have in our country. This episode is actually a great learning for all of us. It is also an eye-opener. It cannot get more candid than this. It cannot get more real than this. It cannot get more fun than this. Watch up and listen up as I chat with Rodney Barnes. It's taken me a lifetime to get this guest on my couch, and it's taken me a lifetime to get this episode rolling. Welcome, Rodney Barnes. Barnes. Welcome, Rodney Barnes.
Thank you very much for inviting me on this casting couch. So, yeah.
So,
Let's
should
go for
we
it.
get on to the action?
Let's do it.
Rodney, I hope you have realized by now that you are clearly in the wrong profession. You should not be a technical director. You should actually be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, people have said this quite often to me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't come out naturally at all.
Really?
Yeah.
And then what just has happened 30 minutes before we started to roll?
That's
What
because
is that?
I'm nervous.
and you passed it on to me. God. Rodney, tell me, how does anyone become Rodney Barnes?
She got to be born to Peter Barnes and Ruby Barnes first.
Cute.
And well, I don't know. I mean, there are so many people who are probably much better than Rodney Barnes, and it's just that probably they've not been seen anywhere. So
Oh,
not there at the right place at the right time, I would say.
wow. You are genuinely making it seem very simple and very modest of you to say that. But the fact of life is that you had a journey which not many know of. And those who know of it actually love you and respect you so much more because they've seen you through that. And I want the new gen that's listening to us today to actually know the true side to you and understand that why don't we have more of Rodneys in our industry, and how can we get there as an industry. Take me through, flashback to another zone where you actually decided to get into this space, or did it happen accidentally? What was it?
Um, I had no job actually 35 years ago, and I went looking for work. It's just that I was sent to meet Andre Vera, actually Andre,
Hmm.
and it was Viscraft, and I thought that was an agency sending people abroad to work into the Gulf.
No.
Yeah, so I just returned from there. So I thought, okay, let's go back to the Gulf, and I met Andre and Vera for the first day,
Hmm.
and they asked me to come back with an event for your daughter's birthday. What will you do? So I went back and I asked my friend Rajiv. I said, "डब्बू में क्या करूं?" I said, "कुछ नहीं, मैं हूं ना."
Hmm.
And he said, "एक काम करते हैं, थोड़ा फुगा लगाते हैं इधर उधर, बंटिंग से कॉल बंटिंग दो से बंटिंग लगाएंगे इधर उधर, केक लाएंगे, सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक,
Hmm.
केक काट के दारू पी के घर जाएंगे." So I said, he said, "ये इतना जाके बोल देना उनको."
Okay.
So I knew I'll lose my job. So I went back to Andre and I told him that, listen, I don't know nothing about this job, but I'd like to learn. And he said, okay, fair enough. And I was carrying my daughter. She was just about, I think, 2.5 years old, I think so.
Oh.
And he said, okay, come on from Monday onwards. But that's the goodness of Andre Varaf and Savas. They've given a chance to everybody
Wow.
become something.
And it was really that random a start.
Yeah, absolutely. I had no idea what I was doing there.
Wow. And what were you doing in Gulf?
Uh, I had gone as a sales rep to sell some raw materials to the malls.
Mm-hmm.
The raw material was not ready at all. So they pushed me into the factory to pack the raw materials. And I had just one aim in life all the time. I wanted to become a manager.
Okay.
Whether it was toilet manager or any manager. Manager, I wanted that title. So I got that title there. And I was a warehouse manager. So from selling, went to look after warehouse. Then I ran away after 8 months.
Oh.
I was in Saudi.
And you just came back randomly.
Yeah, and then I met Viscraft.
My God. And how old were you when you joined Viscraft?
32, I think.
Oh.
I think so. I don't remember. 94, I joined Viscraft. So I know how old was I?
You were in your 30s?
Yeah, I think 32 or something.
Sorry, but what did you do in your teens then, in 20s?
Nothing. I just wasted my life, actually.
So you were a chilled out Makaba.
I'm chilled out now also.
That you are. That you are. Tell me, how is it that you all of you are so relaxed? You make it seem so simple and easy, and aya, nahi aya, it's okay. Tomorrow's another day. How do you develop that kind of attitude?
I think it was the training that we got, again from Viscraft. I mean, you can do it, others don't worry, We'll find a solution. Don't panic. And that was the teaching that Andre Varaf and Sabas gave us all this while.
Yeah. And they were also almost parallelly learning things themselves and exploring what more could have been done, right?
I think in 94, they were already good. And then Michael Jackson happened in 96.
Yeah.
And there was no stopping.
Of
eventually.
course.
But if you have good teachers like them, and you can do anything.
Yeah. You must have, take me through that feeling of 96 when I'm sure internally it's like big news, but then when you are just waiting for it to, and that time there was no social media, there was no way to amplify and let people know what's happening. Take me through that journey.
No social media, good old days.
Yeah.
Um, we just got to know that Michael Jackson will be coming into India and Wizcraft are the promoters.
Hmm.
So obviously we were on cloud nine and the happiest lot.
Yeah.
And of course, Michael Jackson is the biggest name ever.
Hmm.
And we got their rider, and I was a production manager at Wizcraft that time. And my colleague Shaju was there.
Yeah.
And Shaju had a different kind of job. He was looking after more of, logistics and artists and everybody.
Hmm.
While I was at the venue. So it was the best experience ever. We used to correspond and through emails, yes, but through fax, fax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fax machine.
Yeah. And that sound used to irritate you all the time.
Yeah.
But that's what we did in those days. And again, the best part is, Viraf said, you do what you have to do.
Wow.
And if there's a problem, call me. And likewise with Andre and Sabas.
Hmm.
I don't even remember them coming to the venue.
Oh.
Yeah. Except for the show day, of course. And maybe I think Sabas came a couple of times. But that was the trust and faith they had in us. And because they taught us that,
Wow.
and we had a great time. I mean, who wouldn't want to be associated with Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
So
True.
that's stepping stone for me, at least.
And that was the first big artist that you had
No,
worked with?
before that, there was Deep Purple, who I just loved doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was many other artists I don't remember. Wickfield, Deep Purple, and I think Shaggy maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah.
And this was all in that 2-year
From
period.
94 to 96, yes, we did that.
Wow.
Up to 96, there was no looking back.
Mm. And DNA was already in the game and established.
Yeah. I think so. Yes, they were, of course.
Yeah.
But they were not involved with the Michael Jackson show at all.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I meant in terms of international artists coming and performing.
Not that much, I think.
Oh.
Not that much. I think they got onto it much after that. I could be wrong. I'll have to ask my friend Vincent about this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Again, Vincent is someone who's, I think, one of those rare, amazing people where everyone talks about him. They say that A, he is technically absolutely sound, and second, he's equally generous and wants to always make sure that, people around him are learning along. And
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
I think Vincent and me come from the same cloth. We have mutual respect for each other. We love to work with each other. We exchange a lot of notes, even now. And he's doing very well for himself with Terraform now in Bangalore. It's brilliant what he's doing with Mayur, of course. But yeah, I mean, I did Enrique with Vincent together with DNA many years later.
Yeah. When did your journey with Wizcraft come to an end?
I don't even know. It's not ended.
Wow, I like it.
It hasn't ended. It'll remain forever. I know you cannot take the Wizcraft out of Rodney Barnes.
Yeah.
No.
Once a whiz, always a whiz.
I always tell Sabas that on my tombstone will be Wiz Rodney Barnes.
Oh my.
I always keep telling him that. Like, you see, I got three stars on my tattoo. That's Andre, Viraf, and Sabas.
My God.
It's true.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow. What will it take to get this kind of love from Rodney? What do I have to do?
We'll talk behind later. Behind the casting couch.
Tell me, I'm going to straight jump into, what your life is today. Okay. And we'll keep going back and forth. So in the last few years, you have come into being as one of the most integral people in the life of Maestro A.R. Rahman. Tell me, when you are working with people who are creatively into a zone of their own, and yet they are able to cater to millions and put up that show and woo audiences, which is again culturally, people from different backgrounds, language may not be known to all. Tell me, what is that experience like?
So I used to tour with Mr. Rahman even in 2005 and 2006 with Deepak Gatani in those days.
Yeah.
And then I met Nazif in 2015, I think. And he asked me to come on board, which I was very happy about. And that journey continued for about 8-9 years. And I was production manager with BTOS, looking after Mr. Rahman's concerts. I was just doing the job of production manager there and did what a PM generally does. Great journey. Great journey. And then, of course, like you just said, so many people coming at the concert just to watch and listen to Mr. Rahman. It's a different feeling.
It is.
It's a very, very different feeling. And it's the same even now. But just the difference is now I report directly to Mr. Rahman. And we have a company called Fair Game Production that is Mr. Rahman's production house. It's run by his son-in-law, Riaz and myself. I'm the executive producer of it, and Riaz is the director of the company.
Wow.
So we just overlook everything now. So the job profile is a bit different.
Yes.
But it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same artist. It's the best artist in the world that I can think of. I mean, there's so much of peace when he's around. I tell this to everybody.
Is it?
There could be, people screaming left, right, and center all over the place. But the minute Mr. Rahman's on stage, just comes for rehearsals or whatever, spin drop. It's peace. You can actually feel peace. I've experienced this all the time.
That's his aura.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I mean, you just feel like, there's something divine happening.
Imagine what a lovely relationship you've had and journey with him from 2005.
Yeah, it's
commendable.
2005, 2006. I think we did the 3D world tour with Deepak Gatani, and then I happened to meet Nazif in 2015, and he got me on board, and then that went on for that many years.
Yeah.
Beautiful journey. I mean, the earlier one, then with Beatos, and now with Fair Game has been great.
Your Fair Game, my God. And Wonderment is the first offering that I understand.
Yeah, Wonderment is the tour. And everything that happens is going to be called Wonderment now. And so, like everyone knows, we're traveling, we're touring.
Yeah. How does your role change now as the executive producer? I'm curious to know what gets added to your shoulders.
I think looking into many other things, like, budgets, and overall looking at people, whether they're complying with what you're supposed to comply with. I think that's the difference. And of course, there's more responsibility because now you're directly reporting to Mr. Rahman. So that's always
pressure?
there's. It's not pressure. You don't want to let him down at all. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We're always working with the same bunch of people. That's the best thing.
The team's all there.
The team is the best. And he's got an international management that is called Genius. That is Clint and Kevin.
Okay.
And we have WME as our booking agent. So it's more wider now. So there is more people you talk to and to deal with. But it's great fun with all of them.
Yeah. Tell me, today, when you are dealing with international agencies and international technicians, today it's a different game, Rods, because you have had your share of experiences and learnings. Take me through the time when, say, with the Michael Jackson show, you were probably talking to a team that was far superior to us. We were probably not yet there technically. Personally, as an individual, how do you combat that mentally? And technically, how do you learn and grasp things quicker so that they don't feel like, oh God, where have we landed ourselves?
So again, I'll say the same thing. When we did Michael Jackson, we were dealing with Michael Jackson's management.
Yeah.
But we had our own production manager who had come in from the UK, hired by Westcraft. His name is Nick Levitt. And I wanted to be the next Nick Levitt. That was my goal, to be the next Nick Levitt in India.
Nice.
So he taught me a lot of things. And of course, then we have, Viraf Sarkari. There's no one to beat him. There's nobody to touch him. He's so good. And he would take you to every step. As in, I still have his drawings of where he wanted a security guard standing at what's the distance between two guys. I still have his drawings with me.
My God.
Yeah. So we were far away technically, but you keep learning. And the minute you start, on every artist, you start talking to the production manager and you start learning. And I was very fortunate, in the Wishcraft days that I spoke to many of the production managers. And I started picking up from them and learning from them. And then gradually we learned from ourselves also. Like, there would be, Viraf there. Those days would be Roger Drago, Rustam Pawari, Atul Sonpal. We had Lawrence Wood, who was an Englishman working for Westcraft. When you're mixing up with all these guys, then you start learning and learning and learning, and that's how we picked up. And today we are much better than many places.
Yeah.
We have the best, gear today. Yeah, there's Warren, there is, oh God, there's so many people.
Yeah.
There's Manish Mavani, there is Jay, and Ashish.
Yeah.
Gear is not a problem in this country. We are very, very good at this.
But then I've also felt that whilst we have grown a lot of talent in terms of, say, client servicing, business development, somehow I have experienced, Rod, that production and technical managers, we have not been able to nurture that many.
True.
Where do you think we are going wrong?
Because there's not many people who want to be a production manager.
Yeah. The aspirational value.
Yeah. Because to them, a production manager is like, kuch nahi hota hai yaar. They want to be an artist manager. They want to work backstage, and they want to be where the glamour is, basically.
Yeah.
But they don't understand how powerful a production manager is.
True.
And we didn't know that either. So I still remember I was touring with with Guns N' Roses. And the last time they were here. And the production manager came up to me and said, he was very skeptical about the staging that was made in Bangalore. And he said, no, I'm going to tell the management, this is not safe. And he said, guess what, Rodney? They will not even step on stage. And I've seen them. I've seen production managers work abroad.
Yeah.
They are just too powerful. But they are powerful because they want to look at safety of the artist. And to want to get exactly what they want, what's in the technical rider. They make some changes here and there, but so
it's a powerful role,
but people don't know about it. Yeah, you don't know about it. Here, unfortunately, every production managers, not every, but production manager like, "Arey, chalna hai, kaam kar le." There's no power given to them like how it was given to us.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of freedom in my life with everyone I worked with. Vincent had that.
Yeah.
There was no one to say, you cannot do this, why you did that. But, they would understand why we're doing it. So I think that's the reason we grew. And today there's more competition. With so many other event companies open up and, ticketing companies having their own production team. So there's lots.
Yeah. But I see, well, of course, ticketing companies, like you said, have their own production team members. But somehow nobody has been able to make that kind of a mark where their name is enough, to bring that confidence to people on floor. What do you think you did differently to be able to be recognized as an individual and never because of a certain brand?
I think I was just very lucky.
Oh, come on.
I'm not kidding. Kidding.
There is something out there that was absolutely right in what you did. Maybe you didn't strategize, but what do you think accidentally?
Strategy is not happening.
That's not you.
Not me. I think, once again, I was supported by the bosses. So I could throw my weight around for the good of it and say, this is what you should do. And maybe when we were in this industry, there were not too many people. But now, and so the old guys know who we are. This generation who's there now, and maybe in the one earlier than this, they don't know who Rodney Barnes is. I faced it. I'm not kidding you.
Really?
Yeah. I've met so many people that, okay. And that's fine because they don't know anything about what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
But they should have someone to look up to now.
Yeah.
So the younger guys, I think they should step up and, take charge so that the younger generation starts wanting to become a production manager.
Yeah.
That's important because in our country, we don't have too many. You
Mm,
can count them.
you can.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to keep on to this topic because I'm curious to know if today somebody wants to become a production manager, is there some kind of education that one can acquire, or is it again randomly entering into an office and learning on floor? And how is it internationally? Are they taught this, or they're just learning it on their job?
I don't know about internationally actually, but again, I'm going back to guys from my time.
Yes.
Most of them are learned on the fly.
And
Yeah.
asking the right question has probably helped you
You
get
have
there.
to ask questions. You may sound stupid.
Yeah, I feel that is the concern and reservation that youngsters have, where they think they're going to sound silly,
Yeah.
and thus they don't ask, and thus they're just in awe, or then they are eventually going wrong, whether it's with regards to safety or it's regards to timely completing a setup, both of which I think we're not exactly is not our ace game in India yet.
And there are two things,
Huh.
And during my time, I would ask the stupidest questions and I would get slapped for it.
Hmm.
I many guys like yeah.
Try to recount.
Roger's team, Atul Sonpal, they would just abuse me and say, I can't abuse right now, but they would say,
क्या पूछ रहे हैं?
yeah, tu chhodna hai, tu chhod, tu kar de. But
हाँ,
they would tell you that.
हाँ,
They would answer your question and you go the second time, then,
हाँ.
they would laugh at you. But I asked those questions a million times to them. Why this? Why not that? How to do this? So it's both ways. Like, okay. Now there is no time because people go on site so late. There's no time. The guy who's the production manager has got no time to say, okay, let me come and help you out. No way. So then there's no question, of asking any questions.
Of asking, yes.
There's no time. But एक काम कर, तू वहाँ पर चले जा. You look after the barricading. Okay. Become a production manager. Look after barricading. Toilets उधर है कि नहीं देख लो. So it's demoralizing.
Yeah.
It's actually demoralizing. But that's why there is no one interested, I think, in this.
True.
The guy who wants to be wants to be one, but is like he's got a job of it's called production. What in production, no one knows.
No one knows.
So that guy is very happy to do production backstage and looking after the toilets, but backstage, hai na?
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes. I tell you, in the wedding space,
Yeah.
the situation is just exactly what you said. You have good talent that comes in, and they're like, I want to do decor production. What they want to do, no. They are not clear, but they just know that it's about being on floor and being around the stage, and that's
it.
That's santushti.
Yeah. That's what keeps them happy. But now, what do? You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
There is no, I don't think there are any schools over here.
Yeah, we don't have.
I don't think so. And if you need a school, then you need to have qualified teachers, which again, we don't have.
Yes.
And then again, you got to get back to people abroad to come here and teach people even the basics, which is very good. I mean, I would go and learn if someone comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Like someone needs to be a lighting designer.
Yeah.
What does he do? I would say, call up the big boys, call up Harold, call up Atul for all you care, call up Beckett, ask questions. And I'm sure these guys will help you if they have the time. Likewise for audio engineers, we have got wonderful engineers in the country. But I don't think they want to go and first pick up boxes.
Yeah.
You have to first pick up boxes. I mean, I used to do this when kids used to come to learn. Yeah. Pick up. Because I did that.
Oh.
I did that. I mean, I've carried speakers on my back 4 floors up in Worli with Pinaz Masani was performing. I still remember.
Oh my.
From, what's his name? With Rustam's sound. Yeah. Because there's no lift. So, we've gone through the
whole drill.
Yes. God. Carrying bunch of cables on your right shoulder and your left shoulder, walking and laying the cables. And we learned all those things. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Today, kids won't do it.
Will not. No. Oh my. No. Oh yeah.
I mean, they'll put the cables around their shoulder and take a selfie and say, I'm saying, yeah. So, That's the problem.
Story of the day.
Yeah.
And imagine that was the time when you have worked with the best of artists.
Yeah.
And there was no concept of taking a picture. There was no camera in the
No,
hand to
no.
be able to document and record all those
Nothing,
moments.
nothing.
These are just amazing memories which are there with you.
Yeah, we had memories and we had drawings,
Ah.
which we would actually, that's what we learned from Viraf Sarkari. Yeah.
And obviously, then IFA. I mean, when you talk about Viraf, for me, it's first, equal to IFA. And I mean, to the three of them, kudos.
Of course.
I remember there was a conference at which Sabas was addressing us. And he spoke about that journey, that how for so many years they were managing a Filmfare Awards, a Z, etc., and eventually they created their own.
Yeah,
which actually, according to me, it became like a monster that had took over every other award that we have in our industry.
Yeah, I did 10 film fairs with them.
Oh my!
And 2 IFAs. So
Rodney, you're old.
Very old. Very old. I mean, just for people to know, but not.
No, I'm kidding.
I'll always be 18 till I die, so it's fine.
I see. Now suddenly the song is playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21 forever. Depends. So I wish there would be any schools which would, because you cannot go to you can't learn. I don't think you can learn this going to college, in a normal college.
Yeah.
Can you?
No.
There's no syllabus there.
No. I think even the event courses that we have, I don't see them having too much of a focus on this particular department, very frankly. So whatever experience people get is on the job.
Yep.
And when you don't have a hero to look up to, or you cannot,
that's the problem.
Yeah, see that as a big aspirational goal. मैं बड़ा बन के क्या बनूंगा? मैं production manager बनूंगा. It's unheard of.
Yeah, because they don't know. They can't put a face to the job. The title. They can't put a face.
Correct.
Like maybe when we were growing up, like we would say, okay, they're Rodney, yeah. Are Vincent, yeah.
Yeah.
But that era has passed.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have certain companies that branched out and only got into specializing into production. Do you think that is a good move for someone? And do you think that has helped the industry in any way? Or it's just become a case of me not having somebody full-time in-house and thus,
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, I tell a lot of companies that whichever lighting, audio, they're all my friends, like Warren, Shailesh.
Yeah.
I tell them, everyone, which people don't understand, that even those companies, they need a production manager.
Yeah.
Someone in-house.
To
put everything, to a plan that is there.
Yeah.
There's so many boxes will leave us so many times, they'll come in so many times, they'll go out this way. So we don't have that concept. I mean, you cannot learn, you cannot go to college and learn all these things.
Yeah.
I never went there.
Yeah. But if all of these companies decide to have this talent in-house, which used to be the case earlier, whether it was Wizcraft or Encompass,
yes,
I remember. And now the newer companies that have probably come up in the last 7 to 8 years, nobody will have a full-time
in-house
team.
They don't have.
Yes, they don't have that.
It's overheads, right?
Yes.
It's overhead. They say, okay, production crew, come and do this, or Limelight, come and do this. So
yeah.
It works for some people. It works when they don't want to think of the overheads. It works. Money saved.
Yeah.
4 people in the office. It's like you and Hemant in the office. Baki
outsourced.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, I don't think it helps you reach that level of precision, and it does not help you get the output that one is expected to give.
No.
It doesn't. The consistency is missing.
Yeah.
Then you have good shows and then you have average shows, because depends on who was handling that particular event, which is something that I feel, again, the new generation of entrepreneurs of the last 7 to 8 years, they do not have that understanding. While technically, like you mentioned, Warren, Manish, Jay, etc., there are many such companies.
Yep.
Earlier, which was probably focused on, say, Bangalore and Delhi and Mumbai, having these companies. Now, even cities of Jaipur, Indore, etc., you will find the same brand, the same equipment, but you will not find the technical
No,
team and technical efficiency? Because the people there are not that trained.
and they're not enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, and trust me, I've seen them with the entire light board, but the technician will not know, and the client doesn't understand. For him, he's like, "मैंने light पे खर्चा किया है."
Yeah.
So light designer is still a concept in tier 2, tier 3, which is not understood, say, by a client.
No,
you
it's
know?
not. They said, "क्यों चाहिए?
Yes.
Why do you want them?"
Why do you want them? It's
They would
hilarious.
understand that
I'm like,
they're
what do
going
we
to make.
do
They're
with the
going
board?
to, yeah, they're going to make the show look good.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what the lighting designer does.
does.
You know, if you see people like Beckett, you
Yeah.
see people like Harold.
Mm.
I forget so many names. I mean, they just change things.
I'm dreading. A lot of names are coming to my mind, but I'm dreading taking it because if Raj doesn't approve of them, then I don't want to sound silly with the technical director on my couch and I'm taking your name and you're like, Shah.
No, I mean,
How do they pass your test? You know this, right? People do get intimidated when you walk
By
into
me?
a room. Oh, yes.
I'm
Because
not that
they
bad.
feel they're just too little and going to sound silly and blah, blah, blah.
No,
Trust me.
Please give them my number. Let them call me. Yeah. Call me. I mean, no, I would love to help them. And first of all, get, this out of their heads that, Rodney said, what he said, nothing of that sort.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to help people.
This is the genuine reality because that's just the vibe that you throw around. Like,
Oh.
yeah. So, you
Meena
know what
Singh?
you need to do? Yeah. Don't look at Meena. She will give you one danda there only.
No, I don't think I do it on purpose.
No?
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's sweet.
I mean, I'm a very happy guy. I like to be popular. So go and say hi. Well, that's what it is. When I was growing up, I must tell you, I mean, I saw this movie called Saturday Night Fever.
Okay.
Have you seen the
haven't-
movie?
No, I haven't.
Jesus Christ.
I know. You talk to me about Hindi movies and then
No,
you,
I don't watch too many Hindi movies.
yeah,
but
we're like,
but you watch the movie called Saturday Night Fever. Watch it.
okay, I'll watch
It's
it
John
tonight.
Travolta.
Mm.
And I went to a theater, I think, to see, yeah, obviously. And I saw the guy, how he goes into a nightclub and he's a great dancer.
Yeah.
And when I saw that movie, I said, I want to be like John Travolta. Not looks-wise. I'd love to dance. But I want to be popular like John Travolta because he would walk into the club and he would like, I think his name was Tony in it. I don't know. So everyone said, hi. So you just know. So I want to be popular, man.
Oh.
So I also wanted to be popular. Meena doesn't like it. So that was like, okay. And so that stuck to me.
Yeah.
Like I wanted people to know me.
Yeah.
Whether for good or bad or ugly, but people had to know me. And
important.
yeah. It just coincidentally happened that, I got into the right company at the right time and we blossomed with all that we were doing. And yeah.
I remember I was participating in Miss India in 2003.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
moving on. You're so sick.
It's cut. Huh. Tell me.
So it was, you were you just joined 360. I think 360 had just taken shape that year or a year prior to that.
2000.
Parikh was
2002.
2002, 360 came into being. And I was, no, Miss India was in 2003 when you, Shaju, Rakshit, you all were. Yeah. And I remember you were like this dude. Okay. And you will not believe it, but all the contestants at that time, many of them were crushing on you. Wow. And it's unbelievable because you were like this cool dude over there. And I used to think of you like, oh yeah. So I have this tendency that I don't tend to like people who are liked by all. Yeah. So I had this innate...
Now you can't do without me.
Yeah. But that is the fact. You were really like the guy over there and everyone screaming your name and blah, blah, blah. And your team also, everyone's looking out for Rodney, Rod. So we used to always have this thing about you and you never smiled at anyone, unlike Shaju and all who were like very approachable. You were like this, main hu kuch.
Main hu Don.
Main hu Don. You did a lot of Miss Indias and film fairs, that entire phase of 360.
Yes.
I think 360
Viscra before that, right?
Viscraft and then in a way,
360.
Huh.
Yeah, that was it. The last time we did was, I think we did the 48th film fair was the last time I was involved in it. 48th.
And now I'm going to ask you something which has always been a question, but I've never had the courage to ask any of your gang, the original gang.
Mhm.
I think you all were like the famous five,
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Famous five? I know the, okay.
Yeah. So tell me, when you all moved to 360, how did you all, how do you take that kind of a decision in that phase when you are working with a Wizcraft and then you're servicing Times, and then Times sets up their own event management company and the best of Wizzies are called in over there? How do you take that? How did you take that plunge, and did that affect your relation for a tad bit phase with Sebas, Andre Viraf?
Yeah, sadly it did. And I'm not going to say I regret that decision,
Sure.
but I mean, my heart to say I wish I had not done it because too close to Andre Baraf and Sabas. And all of us, I'll say this on behalf of all of us, that we were just too close to them. And it was like, leaving your home and going to someone else's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, like just getting married and going to your wife's house, which is not the right thing to do. But yeah.
I love the way you put it.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing it very soon. So, there comes a time when you have to, when you need a change.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a change for all of us. And we took that decision, put together. But till today, I would think like,
yeah. And how long did it take for you all to kind of mend ways with, Sebas and say, okay, what the hell?
See, I don't think Andre Baraf Sabas took it personally because I don't know. Because it didn't affect us personally as a flyer.
Sorry. Yeah, there is. Sorry.
Okay. We were still with them, that time and even now. Relationship is the same.
Yeah.
Maybe professionally they would have felt like, this whole gang went away at one go.
Yeah.
What is it called? I don't know what's it called. So it's a bitter chapter.
Fair.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, of course, there came the surge of too many companies that was suddenly born, parallelly growing pretty strong.
Yeah, I was part of all the companies.
I remember your. I think there was this whole. You were Draupadi.
Yeah, total. Getting raped everywhere. Like, I had to get my pants down every time. So, yeah.
Let's do a quick recollection. There was Encompass. There was G2 Rams.
Yeah.
There was 77.
Yeah.
See, I've been stalking you, bro.
Yeah,
Do you
Jesus.
understand, Meena?
Hemant. Yeah, there was 77.
I think
G2
I got
Rams,
them.
Encompass. I also had an offer with Percept, which we didn't take.
Yeah.
I remember there were offers many, but we didn't go there. I didn't go to many places.
And then there was this whole new phase, especially with companies like Encompass and G2 Rams, where the whole corporatization came into being. I remember bumping into you somewhere where you had mentioned to me also that they, when you are expected to log in at a 10 o'clock time,
9 o'clock. It's Times of
9
India.
or whatever is your start time.
Times of India.
No. I think this was G2. I think so.
I never logged in anyway.
Yeah, you didn't, but that was just that whole thing where the event companies didn't until then function like that, because there was a consideration that, okay, you've had an all-nighter, you've been at a setup or dismantling something.
But that happened at 360 also.
It did.
Yeah. We had the swipe cards, very fancy ones.
Yeah.
And we had to go in at 9 o'clock. And I would reach early because I wanted to go and have breakfast in the canteen. It was very cheap, nice breakfast. And then we got pulled up many times because 9 o'clock was login. Hello, we came home at 8 in the morning, and then Mr. Parikh understood. And then, of course, we had Devraj. So,
yeah.
And Devraj fought for it very well. I mean, he was there backing us. And those cards went for a toss. I don't know where the cards went after that. Yeah. But honestly, I'll tell you, like you're doing weddings, like we're
Yeah.
talking about being a production manager or technical person on a wedding. I've done the best weddings with Samit and Jay.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I have enjoyed my time with them.
Yeah.
You know, E Factor,
Yes.
and again there you see the difference. Jay and Samit,
Hmm.
they gave me that freedom. You know, jo karna hai kar, don't let's not mess anything up. So it was again, it's the good bosses.
Nice.
Devraj Sanyal, do what you want to do. Mr. Parikh said, no problem.
Hmm.
And once again, the same thing happened with, I think, all the companies, whether it was Encompass, Roshan Abbas is the most hilarious boss you can ever get in your life.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
When the two of you are in the room, who listens?
He listens. He told me wants to make a movie on my life. Yeah. Many years ago. He's forgotten now.
Ah, I'll remind him.
Yeah. And, in his own funny way, तेरा तो मैं लाइफ में पिक्चर बनाने वाला हूँ उसमें, so okay, no problem. And even the Muthuraja brothers, they had a lot of freedom for all of us. A lot of freedom. I mean, everybody gave us freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it happens now, but
And that also meant in a lot of ways that, say, with the summit, etc., it was possible for them to get your expertise because overall, is it true that the overall project cost can also go high when you have people who are very specific on what's required?
Yeah.
And there's a no compromise situation.
Right. And it was good enough with everyone. But the thing is, if you're going to add value, then people don't matter.
Yeah.
Like you can give me a call when you have a big project, which you'll never do. Hemant, I'm looking at you also. I'm not expensive. I'm a cheap.
Sasta hai.
Yeah, I'm a cheap one. So
Corporate events versus concerts versus shadi.
Concerts. Anytime.
You didn't even take a second to decide that.
Never.
Broads.
If I do a corporate event, there'll be a problem.
Why do you say that?
I always kept saying it. The backdrop will fall down or the mic will not work because I just can't do it. Anything in a banquet hall, not happening. I just can't.
It's too regular, you'd say, for you?
Yeah. And
you probably would love to do something slightly more challenging than just putting up that.
Yeah, then one small backdrop and microphone, hello, check. Won't work the mic. So we forgot Channel V. I was at Channel V also. Yeah.
When was this?
Just before the first IFA. So 26 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how was that? And how did that happen to begin with?
Oh, I can't talk about the story.
Why? Yeah. Why?
No, it's the same like 360, but that was only me who went.
Oh.
And then I came back.
You did?
Yeah. I'm that favorite puppy dog. Go back to the master.
But television versus...
Zero. Concerts. Live.
My God. You were born for this.
You say that because, see, I'll tell you what, TV is a different ballgame. A production manager like me, who's doing anything live, can't do television. At least I cannot do television. And vice versa. Because TV is very specific. And you get retakes.
Yes.
We don't get.
Yeah. That is something I just love.
If something goes wrong, then there's no show. You can start again. Hey, cut, start again types. So, can't do that. But anytime. Live shows anytime.
Yeah. And which has been the most challenging show that you would have worked on?
All of them, I think.
No.
Every day is a challenge. Everyone's a challenge, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's a challenge. I mean, you think of the weather, we're hoping and praying to God that, it's not going to rain or not going to be windy. You'll think about fire.
Yeah.
And you're always, on your toes, can't think what is happening here, what's happening there. But once again, we have different professionals now coming up and ensuring that, there is safety maintained.
Yeah.
I think, Mankaran Singh.
Yes.
I mean, he's brilliant. So these people, actually people like them are helping us. They're helping us get better.
Yeah. Because you're all looking after a specific
Exactly.
department, a
Exactly.
specific area of concern.
Exactly.
And then that helps you have a better show overall. It's
Yeah,
not
that-
just about what you see on stage.
Yeah, then you feel safe. Okay,
Yeah,
he's doing his job.
true.
That one's doing their job. So
Yeah.
you feel just happy and just go about doing what you want to do. So,
Hmm. To
And
me,
there is no education to this. Let me tell you,
there isn't.
I've got no education at all. Yeah.
You haven't, but I was hoping since then there should have been and could have been perhaps better avenues for people to
Yeah,
get learning.
True, but I don't know how this is going to happen. I
It'll
don't
only
know.
happen if you open Rodney Institute of Production and Technicals. Ta-ran.
Nobody will be there. Trust me, no one will be there. No, you got to have like-minded people to start doing that. Like
Yeah.
like Vincent somewhere,
Yeah.
myself, Ravi Darekar,
Mm.
and man, I can't even think of people, unfortunately. So you need those people to come and teach the youngers again.
Mm.
I mean, not for the money of it, just so that the industry survives and gets better.
Better.
Not survives, but gets
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your take on the last 2 years of live space and ticketed shows in India?
Oh, it's rocking. It's amazing.
And have you been able to identify and decode as to how come everything has worked out so right suddenly for India?
I think it's the ticketing platforms like Book My Show.
Yeah.
They've just gone all out and they're doing, everything possible.
Yeah.
And now you have, District or
District.
Zomato, that's called. I mean, they're doing stuff.
Mm.
So more competition, more shows.
Yeah.
I worked on the Lola
Mm.
second year.
Oh, you did.
It was a great experience.
Mm.
4 stages, massive ones,
Yeah.
and
How much of time did you have to give in? How many months?
3-4 months maybe. I'm not too sure. October, November, December, January, yeah, July. No, about 6 months. I think so.
6 months.
I think so.
And at what point in time is somebody like you called into the project? Is it when it's kind of confirmed, sanctioned, or it comes in at a later time when you are given a half-baked cake and then told?
No. That used to happen earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, with Book My Show, it happened at the correct time.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. All these things have changed for the good of everybody.
Yes.
People are more conscious of what it is. People are doing things in advance,
Yeah.
calling the right people.
Calling the
So
right
that's good.
Hmm.
Now
Maybe
there's
what
so
kind
much
of a
happening.
prep do you have to do when you're working on say something like Lola, where you have multiple stages, multiple artists, and a city like Mumbai, which has its own set of challenges in terms of
We only have challenges of a venue
venue,
and parking.
which is a downer,
Yeah.
no doubt.
But otherwise, I don't think there's a challenge because we are very well equipped.
Yeah.
And in fact, the entire country is very well equipped with technical stuff. We got great vendors. So we don't face a problem there.
Hmm.
But yes, go to a venue and then,
Hmm. But the rest of India, which by far has been, say, the most challenging city to work in operationally and
I think Goa.
no, seriously,
Yeah,
why everyone's chilled out.
oh yeah. You
Afternoon beer and
can, now that you can literally see people walking in slow motion, so I dread going there and doing a show.
Yeah.
I've not done one for a long time. I think the last one I did was with Kantil only.
oh,
Yeah, Time Out, I think.
time
it was.
out, yeah.
Time Out. So
Yeah.
that was the last one I did. I'm very
And you're
happy.
like, I'm not coming back. I'll come here for a holiday,
Yeah,
but not to work.
not even holiday. Meena, I have to follow her.
Oh. Ah, you're that little puppy.
100%, I told you.
Hutch.
I have to go wherever she goes. Mary had a little lamb.
I just love this extraordinary relation that you have where the two of you are, like Tom and Jerry. She definitely knows when to spank you and how to spank you. And I love that.
She spanks me all the time.
Yeah. You
Not
like
when and-
being spanked.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Tom and Jerry actually is Shailesh Gopalan and myself. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That is Tom and Jerry. If you want to see Tom and Jerry, come and be with us.
Really? See, at least you give away a little bit of I like you, I don't like you. So somebody who's got the I don't like you knows that they have to move away. With Selish, I don't see a change of expression. Sorry, but I never have understood whether he's really fond of you or not, because he's got a pretty much straight face. You give it out even if you don't want to. You know
Yeah.
this problem?
I'm worried about that. It happens.
Yeah.
Like if someone knows that I don't like the person.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, now what do I smile? I can't smile also. I don't want to smile. It's not coming on. So no, I have a problem. Yeah.
Tell me, when you travel so much, so many countries, do you manage to take out time after a concert and kind of travel around,
No, I never do.
explore? No.
Never do.
Why?
I love my home,
Ah,
my bed.
really?
I want to come back home. I mean, when I go to America, I tend to spend about a week with my cousin,
Hmm.
and that is it. That's the only place I can probably spend
Spend.
a week or so.
Hmm.
Otherwise, most of the places I'm out the next flight morning, first flight,
Hmm.
I'm out.
And which country or city have you enjoyed working in?
Actually,
Again, in terms of the right kind of people joining you in.
anywhere abroad. Yeah.
There is no favorite.
No, because they're so professional, right?
Hmm.
The Americans, the English, Malaysia,
Hmm.
Singapore, fantastic people to work with.
Hmm. Tell me a few, say 2, 3 things that you probably have picked from having worked overseas with people who are, and ironically, I'm going to actually share with you that I was at a conference just 2 days back,
Someone
and
spoke
one
about
of the speakers mentioned she's from US, and she was giving the keynote address, and she says that she's 32 years into the industry, etc., etc. And I was just thinking to myself that our industry itself is probably about
40, 50 years, 40 years maybe.
40, yeah, exactly. So I was like, that is one individual
Yeah.
who is that old, and our entire industry has only come into being, and so we are technically a very relatively new
Yeah.
industry, so
Yep.
to say. We should not be blaming ourselves so much about not being at par on many levels. All we can do is quickly learn and try to reduce the time gap and the other, gaps that we have. What are your learnings from having worked abroad that you probably have got back to the country and made sure that the next show you did in India, there was a certain way in which you did some things?
First of all, I would like, the client who we're dealing with to give us time.
Ah.
That's the problem. We don't get time. I mean, you do so much of weddings. I mean, before you can say anything, the wedding time comes for you guys.
Yes.
Ho gaya abhi chalo. Because you have no time.
Yeah.
Then when you pass it down, you have no time to brief your colleagues
Yeah.
what to do, what not to do. But abroad, it doesn't work that way. I mean, mostly it doesn't work that way because their planning is brilliant. They spend days planning it.
Nice.
I mean, I've done a lot of stuff with, in fact, a corporate event with this company in the UK. And I was the only black guy working with only white people in Delhi. So if you want to look for me, Rodney kone, wo kala hai. Only white.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, there's a guy called Mick Wicks. We all call him Mickeypedia. You ask him anything, he knows. He's an elderly guy, maybe about 70, I think so, maybe less, I don't know. And the first time I worked with him, I think I was with Encompass or what, I don't remember who. He had made a drawing. I wish probably one day I can, send it to you guys where y'all can, give it to your guys.
Yeah.
A file of how a cabling should be done in a corporate gig, in a banquet hall.
Wow.
But cable, how it should run, in which direction, why. And then I got to work with Mick Wick, and I took that file to him again. And I must have got a chance to work with him after about another 10, 15 years or so.
Oh.
And he was so shocked that I had that file with me. So that much of planning they do.
Oh.
So I've tried many times to do it, never happened because we don't have time. You can take files, walk in, and aisa karna chahiye hum log. We should do this. Where's the time? No time. Okay, file back in the bag. Jo karna hai kar lo. So
Time.
time is what the client should be able to give us.
Hmm.
Like I think even IPL, I think it got confirmed 2 3 days ago.
Yeah, we're still there.
What does one? What does an
We're
agency
still
do?
there.
They present what you know everything, and then say, oh no, only this much.
Yeah,
So I think it's educating the client is more important.
more important.
If you can do that and they understand, great.
Yeah. Wow. It's such a simple thing
Yeah,
and a
it is
simple ask, but honestly, it's the toughest thing to get.
toughest.
Yeah.
Toughest.
There's no concept of pre-booking a banquet space 24 hours prior because
No money.
no, suddenly the client doesn't have that money.
No, they don't have the money.
Yeah.
But they don't have the money. But see, I'll tell you the other thing is uh, when we do shows abroad,
Yeah.
especially in arenas, indoor,
Yeah.
uh, there's something called walk and chalk. The walk and chalk happens at 7 in the morning. 8 o'clock is loaded. 12:31, everything is up and running. After lunch, rehearsals. This is what we do when we go abroad.
Wow.
In 2022, we did 24 cities of Mr. Rahman's concerts. Every morning, same routine. We did about 24 shows in about 54 days or something. I'm not too sure. So even now, we do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What extreme
It is fantastic.
extent of planning that would
That's
be.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you plan in advance.
Yeah.
Here it's not possible.
Here it's not possible. Also, even a basic SOP, I think, is a
SOP
bit
kya hota hai?
much to ask for. You know, this is what we face in a lot of wedding companies. So because we run the institute, we
Right.
try our best, but then there are only that many that we can
Yeah.
educate.
You cannot.
It's just yeah, what is SOP is really the question that people ask, and they're just amazed that, but hota hai, kaam hota hai.
Yeah, but that's what happens. No, eventually they say, okay, the show must go on. So
Yeah.
eventually, show ho gaya na.
Yeah.
But only we know what we've gone through.
Exactly. I think it is a case of educating the client and insistence by every single event management company. If we don't insist on it individually, because this is not a group activity that can take place where we all have to agree for something.
I
It's
don't know
not
how.
possible to unite.
I don't know how exactly. That's the right word. Unite. I don't know how united we are. I'm not too sure,
Yeah.
honestly, because I don't belong to EMA,
EMA.
and all
Yeah.
the other
Sorry, I
things.
should change my expression.
Yeah.
EMA.
And I mean, whether there's EMA and there's something more also, I'm not too sure.
Oh, now there are a lot of regional
Okay.
Kima, Tima.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
genuinely, I'm not making fun.
I love Kima. So I'm telling you. And so I think this body should,
Yeah.
come together and help the industry out. That's what I would think they're doing, but I'm not too sure.
No. I think my personal take and what I have understood is that I think a lot of times associations get consumed in more of power play rather than the real purpose
Okay.
of why they are formed. And I wish that would change, because there needs to be someone who everyone can look up to again.
Yeah.
Aspire.
You
that
need to have a hero.
Yes.
You need to have a hero. I should tell my daughter that also. You need to have a hero. Then you want to become that person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going about doing your work. Yeah.
How does Rodney deal with days when he's not working? Does that bother you?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
But I'm, I'm always on my bed, watching all the movies possible, TV series possible, and I just love doing that. But then after 3-4 days, I'm like, when's the next one? I get very edgy.
Yeah.
Just because I want to work, nothing else. I cannot stay at home. I get very hassle staying at home.
Staying at home. Tell me, how does anyone go through these phases of ups and downs that one goes through as a consultant? Because it is not easy. And I can say this from my previous experience as an anchor, when there were days when you're back-to-back traveling and you seem like you're the person in demand. And then there are those couple of days, weeks that can run into weeks, which is scary when you suddenly start thinking, have people forgotten me? How do you mentally keep that game going? And how do you, I know you work out, and I know you spend a lot of time on taking care of yourself off late, because at least that's what you tell me whenever I called you. I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Oh. So is that a
I was
very...
lying to you.
I'll ask me now. Chalo.
See, I'll tell you what, it is scary.
Huh.
Okay. When I decided to become a
Yeah.
consultant, I said all the prayers in the world.
Hmm.
I prayed to all the gods.
Huh.
There was, please do something for me. I'm broke, no money, this, that, and the other. And it's just that I took that step. So, it's like you make the bed you lie in, right? So if you fall, you fall.
Hmm.
But I was very fortunate that, I kept getting work and with everyone possible. And so it went on. You see, work brings you work,
Yes.
So
true.
So I'm never ashamed to ask for work. I ask for work even now. I just asked you also. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not ashamed to ask for work.
I really love that about you. You're never ashamed because you've never thought of it being belittling yourself.
Nothing.
In fact, that makes you more approachable, genuinely. Because I believe a lot of times after a certain number of years of experience, people start wondering if they are fit enough or right enough to kind of partner with you, collaborate with you, get your expertise. So when you do that, trust me, it's a good icebreaker for people to believe that, okay, here is someone who's possibly might just pick my call if I have something.
Yeah, and I keep waiting for people to call me. So, no, I don't feel bad to asking for work. I have no problems asking for work. What will you say, Maxim? No. That's it. No problem. Next, which show is happening here and there? Any contact there? Let's go there.
Yeah.
So it's that's what I've been doing all this while. So, yeah, I don't care. I just ask for work. I'm not asking anyone for, anything else.
Yeah. Tell me, in all these years, which would you find as recollecting as the most challenging phase of your life when you were probably at your lowest and there was a show must go on moment for you that, okay, I got to do this?
The show never went on that time. I think it was 2008. Between G2 Rams and 77. So I was like, nothing happening, no work coming my way. And I was like very hassled. And then walks into my life Manoj Gopalani.
Yeah.
And he picked me up. And he gave me a job in 77. And the funniest part is I worked with them for 8 months and I did only one show. I was really fed up. I was like, I wanted to beat up Manoj. And after that, I met Daryl and Adi also. And the best part is, after I left them, I didn't get sacked. We parted mutually. I did so much with them. It's funny.
How strange.
Yeah. And whatever happened with KBC, I would be involved.
Oh, yes.
And I did quite a lot of kind of work and travel with them after
you left.
After we parted, yeah.
That's so.
Yeah, and so yeah, that and there were phases probably even earlier than that. That when there's no work coming, what do you do? Because you got to think, where's your next salary coming from, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not worried about the salary now because Meena's there. So
yeah, thank God.
Yeah. She's very rich, so it's okay.
Yeah. तुमने मालदार पार्टी से शादी की.
Mal.
What does she say to you every day she meets you? Yeah, she's mal, but what does she say to you? Open your mouth, let me see. Kitna
No. Open your mouth, let me shove something in. Yeah.
I went wrong with my question. He went worse with the answer.
Yeah. You understand. You got to understand she's a Sadarni, so you know how it goes. Yeah.
Tell me, if Rodney had to kind of go back and change something about his professional life, personal, I'm not going to dwell into, but
yeah,
I know.
I won't reach home.
Till now, we have behaved ourselves, so we'll continue. Tell me, professionally, if you had to undo something or do something differently, what do you think you would go back to?
This is a big joke because I didn't complete my education, right?
Yeah.
I'm not very proud of it. So I couldn't do anything. You needed some basic education to do a basic job, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have the basic education also. But again, I wanted to be a manager. Huh?
Mm.
So the only thing I could think of doing was going to of being a receptionist. Yeah. I used to get damn, excited looking at the guys. Not that I ever went to the five-star hotel. I don't know why I got excited. Because those days, five-star hotel, I couldn't enter. They would not let me enter. They throw me out. Go next out. But for some reason, it appealed to me. Like, us, manager,
Yeah.
reception. No, I felt it was a very glamorous job.
Yeah.
I did apply. They threw me out because I had long hair.
The same hair because of which girls flipped on you in my Miss India.
Possible.
Yeah.
And do you know who these girls are?
Yeah.
WhatsApp numbers.
Done.
So I'll just make them my sister. So yeah, and so I always wanted to do things. Meena was making signs over there to me. I always wanted to be a pilot.
How?
Yeah. I'm crazy about aircrafts.
God.
Yeah. I always wanted to be a pilot. But I couldn't even ride a rickshaw properly. Sorry, a bike properly. So we're
But
pilot.
see you flying all across the globe.
Yeah,
Rodney. What a journey.
God is kind. Yeah, God is kind. Honestly, God is kind. Yes, I've worked hard.
Yes,
I've got the right teachings.
Yes. You've learned.
Yeah, I've learned.
Yeah. One can have a good teacher, but it is about being that student who's hungry to learn. And
yeah, I was hungry. I had no money. So I had to learn. So yeah. So like I'm saying, so I wanted to be a receptionist. I wanted to be a pilot, and that got thrown out of the window. So chalo yaar reception mein kuch karte hain. That also got thrown out. And I did various kind of jobs. Playing the drums.
Yeah.
In a nightclub.
And also courier.
Oh yeah.
Service.
I was with Blue Dot for about a year. And this was my area, Vadala. Yeah. Vadala and Sivri was my Sivri and Vadala. And go and deliver packages and letters. And it's a glorified postman's job, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I did that for a year, and I was very thrilled. I was damn happy. I did some crazy jobs.
Oh, God. Yeah. And so would you think of, if you given a chance, you would probably want to study? Or reception?
Want to study?
No, you said it. You would want to go back and try out a day in as a receptionist.
Yeah. No, I want to study. No. I don't think so. I don't have the brains now. No. Though Sarah keeps telling me that she always wanted me to complete my education. And she told me that she'll teach me.
Oh, yeah. Cute.
Yeah, but now she's gone to America, so it's good. She can't teach me.
Good. So you're saved.
So I'm saved. Yeah. And, they all tell me to, all three of them, all the three girls, study.
Oh.
Not happening.
No.
They are studying. You all are educated now. I'm very happy.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that itself brings so much of pride to have to see where your kids are moving on to.
It starts with the mother. She's also very educated. Meena Singh.
I think even today you are learning. You're a good student, Rods.
I'm learning every day. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. How to behave myself. With Meena around.
When to wear the sunglasses and when to not have them on.
You see, it happened automatically.
Yes, yeah.
Who's the director on this show?
Parikh. PP. Parikh Prayas.
No, it's Meena, the behind you.
Slow clap, bro. You said it.
She's like, abhi ye bol. Abhi ye nikal. Abhi wo kar. I was like, okay.
Oh God, but it's amazing to have a partner who cares so much.
Oh, there's no twist about it. I don't think I could have asked for anything more.
Yeah. Kuch to acha kiya hai tune, Rodney Barnes.
I always keep telling her.
Yeah.
I've done something in life good that, I've got a partner with her and now I'm making her happy, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So, we'll know later.
No, but Rodney, it's been amazing chatting with you. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you for chatting with us. Thank you very much for gracing us and sharing your story. And love you loads for this.
Oh, I want to thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on this casting couch of yours. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's time to spank you. Meena!
Meena, come spank.